All right, y'all, I'm going to end this episode like I always do, showing love and shouting out. And today I want to shout out the family of George Floyd. You know, it's been 5 years since that brother was lynched. Uh, for the world to see. And 5 years later, after the unrest, after the marching, after the singing, after the speeches, hell, I gave one, after all of that, we're in a worse position now in terms of racial justice than we were back then. And that has to be hard for that brother's family to see. I've never lost a loved one to murder. I recently lost my mother. Um, and I'm quite angry with some healthcare providers for some things that were done, some things that weren't done, but I haven't lost a loved one to murder. But I can imagine that nothing would make that better. Nothing. Nothing. No settlement. You know, no financial settlement. No, um, none of the many well wishes like the one I'm doing right now. Nothing could make that better. At least not fully better. Like you probably wouldn't feel whole again. I can imagine when somebody takes the life of someone you love. You know, I think that's why my mama felt incomplete because her father was murdered. You know, when she was just a baby. So that's why I'm saying I haven't experienced that because my mama didn't even remember that. But she never felt whole because of that. And she went to her grave angry at the person who did it because once she learned that person's name, she just was angry about it. So I can imagine that George Floyd's family probably at least still saddened, if not angry, when they hear the name of that piece of shit that lynched their loved one. But I can also imagine that they're probably furious that in 2025 you got people up here calling for the president to pardon the person who lynched their loved one. A member of Congress, Marjorie Taylor Greene, called for a pardon for that bitch ass motherfucker. So this ain't no fringe position. That's a member of Congress. I can imagine that that family is troubled that the what looked like a movement faced so much pushback that we've gone backwards. It went from Black Lives Matter to no, all lives matter. It went from that to anti woke, anti CRT, anti DEI, when really what they want to say is anti fucking black. I think back to that time, bro, and I was hopeful. I thought I was in the midst of some change, and I'm imagining that maybe that brother's family did too, and maybe they could take some kind of solace from that and to say, yeah, we lost our beloved, but maybe his passing will change the world. You know, maybe everybody's seeing him get lynched like that and be this big old strong man, but still be calling for his mama. Maybe that would lead to some true change. And we see shit. This nation went back to the president who wanted to shoot the protesters. I talked about that in the previous segment. He wanted to use the U.S. military to shoot the protesters. Went back to the president who said when the looting starts, the shooting starts. He ain't give a fuck about why folks were out there outraged and doing what they were doing. You've gone backwards. You had athletes and entertainers using their platform, speaking out with the chest out, saying shit. They were leaving Colin Kaepernick solo dolo. Just Colin Kaepernick, Eric Reed, maybe one more cat taking the knee against, as a protest against police violence and injustice in this country. Hey, they were largely leaving them boys hanging, but then George Floyd got lynched, and then all of them want to take that damn knee. Motherfuckers was saying shit. 5 years later, motherfuckers done got comfortable again. We're going backwards. So I'm so disheartened by that. But I don't want the George Floyd's family to be disheartened, because I do want them to know that there are still some of us out here who still think about them and think about all the people throughout this country who've experienced that. I'm a survivor of police violence. I've been under the knee of an officer. And I said I can't breathe. So I know that feeling. But I didn't lose my life. So while I'm still here, God damn it, I'm gonna use my life to try to reverse this trend of us going backwards and try to push us back forward. Okay? So if any member of the Floyd family, of George Floyd's family, ever sees this, I want you to know that there are some of us out here who are still trying to push this shit forward. And the loss of your loved one will forever be a rallying cry for us. So strength and love to y'all right now and forever. And of course, I want to shout out all y'all real ones out there. This has concluded episode 227 of the realest, most entertaining show in the game. Put it on something. Please continue to be down with me. Follow me across all my socials, because with your support, I guarantee you we will change the world. I appreciate y'all and I love y'all. As always, one.